Welcome back to Cooch 5 RC, everyone. And if this is your first time, you picked a great one. All of our videos are trying to improve, but today's a fun one. We are going to be putting a plow on our four-wheeler. We've got the Can-Am Renegade 500. I bought it new back in 2010. I've always wanted to put a plow on it. And what we're going to end up with is a plow, a winch kit, and all associated mounting brackets. This is the, you can't see, it's all black on black, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's going together nicely so far, and I'm going to go through a couple steps with you. It's got the nylon braided rope. It's got a tether on the end. They give you a tether to hook up to the tether. Instruction manual, my favorite part, the sticker. Some help information. I believe this is a universal plate that I'm not going to end up using. Here's the fair leader for it. Got everything loosely mounted up here, just like I do on the plow, but I'll get into the plow a little more deeply in a minute. We got a WPS number here of 10-2-1, and this is the Stealth 2500 winch kit. And with it, you get a ton. You get the power wires to go all the way from the studs on your motor, top and bottom. This is being seen upside down right now because of the next step I have on it. But the electric motor is on what is, as you're looking at it from the front, the right-hand side. Your disconnect engage switch is on the left-hand side, and so far that's got an amazing action on it. Don't ever switch this. This is a clutch, and you're doing it by hand, so don't ever switch this on the left while this is under tension. Something's going to spin, fall, or break. Got the toggle switch to go right up onto the dash or the handlebars as we see fit. It's got everything you need to be able to, it's got a shackle to go on the end of your rope. It's got a beautiful clamping system. We'll see more on this either in the next video, at least highlighted, or possibly installed, but real nice pieces. Real hard nylon rubber, it feels like, so super durable. But through my dealer, I was able to, my local dealer, who I've been dealing with for what I was trying to think of earlier, I think over 20 years, amazing dealer. And I got the kit, so to fit our Can-Am Renegade, we got the kit, includes the fair leader, which again I don't remember is separate from the KFI or not. But it includes this unique mounting plate to the Can-Am Renegades, especially the 500s. And I believe they're similar to this date, but you want to get the model specific one, and it was super easy. This is a add-on piece from KFI, and fortunately I just was organizing everything to get ready for the video, and I found the individual 2 bolts and lock washers that are going to help me get that on. I thought it was a couple of the smaller black bolts that are from the kit, but in fact these are the proper threads, and these are going to go right in. So get those in, and because it's going metal on metal and it's a pivot point, I'll get some Loctite on that. And this kit's been amazing to put together so far. The plow part was incredibly easy. So off the plate that is still up on the bench, but it comes with U-bolts. Solid construction, great welds, great penetration. These are eventually going to line up under the frame of the Can-Am. These posts go into these dogs, and these pins go through to secure them. So that's your quick connect point. Each time you pull each time you pull the quad up to your plow for mounting. So off the winch, in its hook in line. It's going to come down and attach here. Everything on the plow is just like everything on the bench so far, loosely put together. I'm just roughing everything in. All of these are nylock lock washers, or excuse me, lock bolts. So we don't need to worry about any Loctite over here. I'm going to put a bit of grease on all the contact points that I have to try to keep this thing as reliable as possible, but out of the box it's incredible. Again, love the finish of the lightly textured powder coat, a bit flat of a yellow, but looks incredible. Should be incredibly durable. Great cutting edge, adjustable, basically drag pads where you want to have it. So you've got a stack of washers up top that you're not using yet. So if you want to get the cutting edge up off of any of your surfaces, you get weight off of that, pull the cotter pin, drop that out, put some washers on the pad on the bottom, and that way you're lifting the blade up. Otherwise, you want to get that cutting edge closer to the surface in front of you. Like right now I've got 1/4 of an inch. I could take out 2 washers and cut right on the edge. So great system. So power, lift and lower, but as far as angle, I was still happy having it. So you got a manual angle change, and since roughing this in, I haven't operated the manual, but this goes right up in point, so that'll be one of the lubrication points. And I put a little grease on assembly, put a little oil on the springs, and right now I just want to take you quickly through the next step I am at with the mounting up of the winch to all the brackets and having everything ready to go on the quad. So here we have a bracket. I'm certainly forgetting the name of it now, but it comes in the kit. Excuse me for shaking a little bit. Get this shaken up. Comes in the kit, at least the one I got from my good dealers. I'm going to go red as far as strength on these, and I'm going to get a little bit on there because I really don't want these coming out. You can always go more if they start backing out someday. Once you get a heavy amount of Loctite onto a nice thread like that, you're not going to want to take it back out. It's the reason you're using Loctite. But they're different strengths for a reason. And this is a pivot point. I don't expect it to have an incredibly high amount of load on it, but it is a pivot point, and it's going metal on metal, so I'm happy to get a little bit of locking help on there for it. The lock washers that come in the kit are extremely helpful. Save that. A lot of the rest of the items, I hadn't sized up for this one. Let me get a quick socket into the project. Or 12. Looked like a 12 closest to me. So we'll get both. Alright. Which one is it? That's an 11. This one, because I tried to get one of the, it's going in super smooth now, the right length. Before I get that, I can back that off in a second if I want to, but I'm going to go ahead. These were the first Loctites on this project, Loctited bolts, so I had roughed everything else in, but now that I'm going first and last, just try to get this as straight as we can. Try to get it as centered as we can. And there's plenty of play built into this system that you're not going to get in too much trouble. Not play as in any means that things aren't lining up, but these were slotted for a reason, and we're right in all the middles there. And this, I believe, is just to run the rope over in some cases where you need it, but it is part of the mounting. No, I believe it's the upper mounting bracket to the frame of the Renegade. Yeah, it says winch mount bracket here in the picture. Top with the 4-liter, the fair leader, the motor on this end, switch on that. The bulk of your mounting towards the bottom of the chassis of the Renegade. Decent illustrations. Things are going together real nicely. I'm going to back all these out right now, and I'm going to go ahead and get Loctite on them. This being a winch that has precast base, precast aluminum, and then threaded. You don't want to go too long with the bolts, so make sure you use the right bolts from the kit. And I'm using my locks on here. I don't think it was ultra specific yet that I found in the instructions, but because this is the first place that my mount, connects to the winch, but more specifically the winch to the first thing it connects to, I'm going to go with the locks there, and no Loctite where I'm going bolts to cast aluminum, steel bolts to cast aluminum. I'm not going to put any Loctite in there, as I think there's long term with moisture there could be a little contamination of those anyway, to the point where you're going to get some oxidation, and eventually, eventually, should have just looked, you'll get some locking effect anyway. So I don't want to add locking on top of locking, but I am going to go locks here. So that's what you end up with on the bottom, towards the top of the frame, into the motor. You mount your fair leader, has a bolt on either side. Then you're to the top of the specific Can-Am bracket. Again, we've got this takeoff point that we've just installed. Everything's oriented properly so far. Things are applied pretty well so far. Really liking the kit, knowing that it's model specific, and I've wanted a plow kit since probably even before I've got this quad. So really happy to get the model specific one. It makes it super easy, basically bolt on and go. So really looking forward to the next video that I'm able to bring you. We will be hooking up to the plow for the first time and winching her up. Thanks for checking in the KFI. See you soon.